Imagine you've blown up your group chat and gathered all the finest ingredients for a communal feast. Fresh vegetables from the local gardens, grains harvested from nearby fields, and herbs grown on neighborhood windowsills, all waiting to be enjoyed. The recipe called for slow cooking and everyone to contribute something to the meal, each contributing some of their own skills and effort. But somewhere along the way, the recipe changed. Someone in the group convinced everyone that individual microwave meals would be more efficient. Each person now receives a pre-packaged, personalized, portion-controlled meal. After all, it's faster, requires less coordination, there's no sharing required, and you can toss out the cheap plastic containers when you're done. Yet, despite the convenience, something essential seems lost. The richness of flavor, the joy of collective creation, and the satisfaction of breaking bread together have all fallen by the wayside in favor of individual choice and convenience. While this might seem like a barefoot hippie way to spend a Saturday, it mirrors a profound shift that began reshaping our societies in the mid-1970s towards neoliberalism. This economic and political philosophy embraces free markets, deregulation, privatization, and reduced government intervention. Neoliberalism promised efficiency, freedom, and prosperity through market mechanisms and individual choice. It suggested that human flourishing would naturally flow from economic liberalization. Yet nearly 5 decades later, like shifting from communal cooking to individualized bland meals, we find ourselves questioning these promises as they clash with our lived experience. Neoliberalism established what scholars call a hegemony, a fancy word for when a ruling consensus becomes so embedded in our social consciousness it appears as natural. Just as it might be hard to imagine a modern-day potluck without a Deliveroo driver, we struggle to envision economic systems beyond neoliberalism's framework. But you don't need to be a genius to know we all need nourishment to thrive. But the form that nourishment takes matters deeply. A microwave meal might address hunger, but it rarely provides the complete nutritional and social substance of a shared meal. Similarly, the individualized rewards of neoliberalism, such as consumer choice, personal branding, and social media validation, might address certain human needs, but fail to provide deeper nourishment of genuine community, meaningful work, and collective purpose. The psychologist Karen Horney suggests that humans are like seedlings that need proper conditions to flower and grow. We possess innate drives towards self-realization and fulfillment that seek expression. The tragedy of our current moment is that while this drive to flourish remains integral to our humanity, the material conditions under neoliberalism make its achievement increasingly difficult for most people. The financialization of everyday life has transformed how we understand our worth and potential. Scholar Michael Fair articulates this transformation through his concept of ratings. We now live in an age where traditional measures of value have been replaced by various forms of rating. Governments worry more about their popularity ratings than citizens' well-being. Corporations prioritize stock value over worker compensation, and individuals focus on their own followings and likes rather than substantive achievements or community connections. What's particularly insightful about Fair's analysis is how this economic logic connects to Karen Hornby's psychological theory. In our neoliberal context, human flourishing is increasingly measured through external validation, such as our ratings, our networks, our followers, rather than through meaningful development or community belonging. The triumph of individualism over collectivism has left us ill-equipped to address the systemic issues that confront us. We find ourselves trapped in a system that is visibly failing, yet seems impossible to replace. A system that has colonized not just our economies, but our very sense of self. The irony is that neoliberalism itself is now showing signs of fracture. The cracks are becoming more and more undeniable. Yet we cling to it as though it remains our only savior. The promise that markets, banks, and finance could solve all our problems have proven hollow, yet the alternative remains unclear or seemingly impossible to implement. In this context, the question becomes, how do we recover our capacity for community connection and collective action? How do we move beyond the individualized, rating-driven conception of human flourishing to imagine new forms of solidarity and shared experience? How might we create the material conditions that actually support genuine human development rather than its simulacrum? This might be the central tension of our time. Our human drive to flourish remains strong, but the material conditions created by neoliberalism channel this drive into individualized, competitive, and often unsatisfying forms of expression. We seek growth, meaning, and connection, but find ourselves in an economic system that values us primarily for our capacity to service debt, generate data, and maintain positive ratings. These questions haunt our present moment. The answers may lie in rediscovering the value of shared experience, while honoring our individual drives towards growth and self-realization. We could say rediscovering the value of empathy. Perhaps it's time to enjoy the process of cooking together again and sharing both in the labor and its fruits. The microwave meals of individualism may be convenient, but they have left us malnourished in ways we're only just beginning to understand. But what do you all think? Have we traded our meaningful meals and collective experience for hyper-individualized meals of convenience? Or should we embrace our siloed existence and suck down another mushy microwave meal? Let me know in the comments. Maybe even rate this with a like and subscribe. And if you've liked this, you will probably like the Past Present Tense newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter coming out on a Monday with a post like this one, a piece of unsolicited advice, which is usually something I found online, a book or a film, one small quote to simmer on for the week, and the Past Present Tense playlist of 10 songs I've been listening to lately. I hope you check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.